statement that we will know by Monday who controls the system. We thought it was a joke. 6 months down the line, that statement has held true on day one as it holds true today. We have defeated Cameroon on phase 1. We've shut down the school system. They have infiltrated our country to undermine the ghost towns. They've used their tactics of coercion, bribery, and deceit to make sure they can reopen our schools. They have been humiliated by the churches. They have been humiliated by civil societies. Their surrogates could not convince our children to go back to school. They've taken over our cities like they've taken over Victoria to make sure that they can legitimate their system of fraud, deceit, and intoxication. It has not worked for 56 years. It's not going to work now. And it will be over pretty soon. I can assure you that we are not going back to those dark days where we were under mental colonialism and physical occupation. Now we are a free people mentally. We are going to take our land inch by inch, block by block, rooftop by rooftop. And we are going to defeat Cameroon as we move forward. As I have said, we have defeated Cameroon in phase 1. We are now moving into phase 2. I have defined phase 2 as the stage of disentanglement, a stage where our people will listen henceforth only to our voices. The single most authority in our land will be that of Ambazonians. And for that to happen, we must make sure that we make the system ungovernable, that Cameroon cannot govern us from within Ambazonia, that the DOs cannot govern us from our counties, that we impose a higher cost on the occupation, that we must make sure if we tell the parliamentarians that you are not going across the Mongo, we have the means to enforce that decision. And that for anyone who is going to violate that decision, you are going to go on permanent exile into Cameroon. We must make sure in phase 2, Mukete cannot leave Boya and Kumba and go to Yaoundé and run his mouth and come back and live in our own city. That Ekema cannot speak in Boya freely. That they cannot transport our timbers and our petrol without us having the possibilities to impose a higher cost on them. That those who have occupied our land will pay a higher price to maintain their authority in our country. That is phase 2 of the resistance. I have defined phase 2, understanding the nature of the beast that we deal with. That Cameroon is such a brutal system that we must escalate our resistance to make sure that they don't invite genocide on our country. That we must take it stage by stage. We build experience in each stage to be more sophisticated to take the battle to the next phase. That takes us into phase 3. Phase 3 of the resistance will take a different turn. It will include part of phase 2, a kind of impunity being imposed on the system to the possibility of us controlling territory. We will be able to perfect what we have done in phase 2 to make sure that the country remains ungovernable, that they cannot keep exploiting our resources without any reciprocation, that we can effectively move our campaign from a human rights situation to a security situation where we can invite international interlocutors to bat for us, mediate for us, respect us, and the right to control our own destiny in the land of our birth. By the time we reach phase 4, which is the last phase of our resistance, we will be able to control effectively territories within the 43,000 square miles of Ambazonia, hoist our flag, officially proclaim the restoration of the statehood of Ambazonia, apply for membership at the United Nations and the African Union, and defend each block, each part of our territory, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. This is a plan we can achieve in 6 months. And all the other efforts that are being carried out by the different groups, including the unitary platform of Skakuf, are steps that will enhance us in these 3 phases. I can assure you that we are ready. I understand you people have a lot of questions You are asking why we are not acting now. We are acting. We might not be acting to your satisfaction, but you must understand our limitations. We are dealing with a system that outguns us, outmans us, has money 10 times than we ever have. I can also assure you, for each 10 operations that we undertake, we succeed only in 1. It is a very difficult endeavor, and I want you to appreciate that the sacrifices that our people are making will culminate in the liberation of our homeland. It is not the time to take credit. I don't care who liberates us. I don't care who takes the battle to Boya. What I want is independence. And if you take us to Boya, we are going to be singing the hippie yap yap song in glory of your endeavors. We're going to be praising you, writing your names in the biggest chapters in the history books of Ambazonia. And I have also said, and we should take this seriously, we must put a clause that says anybody who is going to be our leader at this moment, or a prime minister or a president or whatever we call that person will not have the right to take part at the head of a post-independence government of Ambazonia for the next 5 years. That means if you are the prime minister now, you will cease being the prime minister the day we declare independence. We will elect a new prime minister once we've installed ourselves in Boya, and you will be able to take part again in any election after the first term of office. This is very important to make all those who are clamoring for power now to know you can lead us now, but you will not be the first prime minister or the first president that will govern a free Ambazonia. That is an important clause all of us must adopt, so that anybody who is thinking that you are fighting for power because you want to govern Ambazonia, only a free Ambazonian people will be able to choose their own government. And it will be people that have the possibilities to govern, to manage, to tolerate, to bring us together, to be able to fight the next foe, which would be economic development, social emancipation. My fellow people, a free Ambazonia will be a place for everybody. It will be a place that you will be proud of. I have said we are going to adopt in a free Ambazonia a once-a-year universal income. Once-a-year universal income for every Ambazonian. That means in the month of August, every student will have an input from the government, a certain amount to give them the opportunities to prepare for the school year. I know people have asked me, how are you going to pay for this? It's going to be easy. We are going to build an economic system where we can recover funds through value-added tax. That means if we give each student in the month of August a certain amount of financial incentive for their education, they are going to buy books, they are going to pay their fees, they are going to buy equipments for their school. And the government will be able to recover much money through the value-added tax. We are going to give each working Ambazonia in the month of December the national income of a certain amount. That will increase your buying power in the month of December. And the government will be able to recover much of this money through value-added tax. The moment you empower the individual Ambazonia and you improve on their spending power, you give them the opportunity to empower themselves and look for possibilities to be able to earn a living. That is the kind of country we are able to build. As I have said, where you can fly into the Tico International Airport and it takes you 25 minutes to drive to Boya. Where you can live in Victoria and walk in Bamenda. In a highway that is going to be constructed to facilitate mobility amongst our people, movement of goods and services. Where we are going to build our hydroelectricity power station to be able to export energy to different countries, create opportunities for our future engineers, create opportunities of jobs, where no Ambazonian will be left unemployed. Because if we build a natural deep sea port in Victoria, it's going to make sure that Chad can come in and anchor there. Central African can come in, and we can give our people living abroad the free possibility to export their goods into our country without any custom duty, so that we can promote individuals empowering themselves and taking responsibilities for their country, their families, and for themselves. We want to build a country where people can have hope in. We want to build a country where you will be proud to say, you are an Ambazonian. I come from an Ambazonia. We want to make you to have a passport that you think that's your identity, where you are proud of it, not only holding that passport, but a country that serves you, is built for you, serves your interests, defends your interests, stands for you. We want to build external embassies that can take care of our people, that if an Ambazonian has an economic problem anywhere out here, we can protect their interest. If an Ambazonian dies somewhere in Thailand, that embassy is going to work hard to repatriate that Ambazonia, where the individual Ambazonia has more value than we have today under Cameroon. That is the hope we have for our future. That is the reason that we fight. We don't fight for power. We don't fight for abstract freedom. We fight for tangible things for our children, for our women, for our girls, for our mothers, to build institutions of learning that produce the brightest in the continent, to create an economic environment that is impactful positively in the lives of our people, where you can live in a country, in a neighborhood in which you were born, grow to die in that neighborhood, feeling proud to be an Ambazonian, where you can give your love for country and homeland, sacrifice for it, and hope to God Almighty and thank Him for being born in a space of men of honor, women of pride, a country with hope, a destiny that collectively we fight for, die for, go to jail for. That's why we fight, my people. I may not be there, you may not be there, but collectively as a people, we will be free. If not today, tomorrow. And our children will be proud of the sacrifices we've made here today. They will hope to God that our forefathers had done better than we have done today. They will never forget us. They will never forgive us. That with all the opportunities of internet, opportunities of being abroad, we have the brightest mindset in the world, that we messed up this chance because we didn't stick together. We didn't dream together. We didn't support one another. Stand together, my people. We have brighter days ahead. We've lived in agony, pain. Our mothers' children are out of school. There's hopelessness in our country. Think about this each day you go to bed. You get up in the next morning being able to say to your sister, your brother, I love you and we should fight together. God bless you all. God bless Ambazonia.